Thank you to everyone that's joined us here on their Saturday morning. I realize that you could be relaxing, sleeping in, or whatever the case may be. You do your unwind after a long week, but share with us today. So we really appreciate your time. And we have a ton of great information. And just to make sure we're all here for the same reason, we are hosting our OST South Union MLK Virtual Homebuyers Fair. And we anticipate this going about an hour, depending on how many questions we have. But we have a lot of information, a ton of good stuff, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Before we jump into the meat of our presentation, a couple of housekeeping items that will help make this go smoothly for everyone. First, if you've just joined us, please mute your microphone. Second, as I mentioned, this is being recorded, and we will send out this recording to everyone who registered in probably about 2 to 3 business days, so maybe by Wednesday. But just in case, just know that this is being recorded and you'll be able to get that link later on. In the meantime, feel free to use the chat box to enter questions. Some of you have already put in good morning, and thank you for that. That's where you can put in questions throughout the presentation. We encourage you to be very active in doing so. We are going to have 2 Q&A sections. We'll have one in the middle after our co-partner presents, and then we'll have one at the very end. So be plenty of time to answer questions. And with that said, that's the end of our housekeeping. So let's go over our agenda today. First, we'll walk through our program summary. Second, we're going to hand it to our partner, Mayberry Homes, to talk about the new homes for OST South Union at MLK that are coming. And then we'll wrap up with homebuyer eligibility for our programming here. And in between steps 2 and at the end of steps 3, that's when we'll take the Q&A. So let's get into our program summary. This program that's brought us all here together is run through the Housing and Community Development's Large Tract Division. You may hear me say HCD for short moving forward. And that's what I'm referring to when I say HCD. And so our mission, vision, and values are here. One thing I did want to mention real quick is also along with the recording, we're going to send you this PowerPoint deck. So there's going to be a lot of information for you to reference afterwards. So that will be going directly into your inbox as well. So I'm not going to go through all of these, the mission and vision and values here, but overall, I will say that the Large Tract Division, our goal is to create new homeownership opportunities for low to moderate and median income Houstonians. By partnering with developers to build brand new neighborhoods with city investments. So we're going to talk about how that works with this program. But before we do that, if you recall, when we asked you all to register for this event, we asked you 2 optional questions. And so I think that's always a good way to kind of start off these presentations by going back to all of you who took the time to tell us, first of all, why do you want to be a homeowner? And here you can see kind of the grouping of how that answered. A ton of you mentioned that you're doing this for your children, right? You want to hand something off to your children that they can have as an asset down the road. A lot of you also said you want to become a homeowner because you want to have something to call your own, that sense of home ownership. Kind of related to that, there was a ton of you that mentioned you're tired of paying rent and that rent was was too high and that you were just tired of doing that. And kind of interrelated, there's also themes of building generational wealth. So all that generational wealth kind of played into a lot of these other things that you mentioned to us. But also tied into all that, there was a lot of specific comments that we heard from you all that this is part of your American dream. So all of this is what we heard from all of you, and we appreciate those of you that took the time to put this to tell us why you want to become a homeowner. We also asked you, why specifically did you want to live in OST South Union at MLK Boulevard? And overwhelmingly, the top answer was how close that site is to downtown. Second, there was also lots of you that mentioned that you grew up in the area. And tied into that, a lot of comments also mentioned that the development that we're going to speak about today presented tons of new opportunities. And that was also related to, being close to work, having access to the highways and being able to get out to work, but also affordability. So a lot of you mentioned that in tandem together, right? You're thinking about that location and how it can offer you new ways to enjoy your life away from work, but also get to work easily and also in a way that's still affordable to you. So again, thank all of you for putting in this information. And hopefully this is a good primer to remind you of why we're all here today and why you're here today to learn about this new homes for OST South Union at MLK Boulevard. So this development is made possible through the Affordable Home Development Program. And just to talk a little bit about this, and this is the last part of my slides before I hand it off to our partners. This is not a traditional down payment assistance program. The goal of this program, AHDP, is what I'll call it moving forward, is to increase Houston's affordable housing stock, specifically with more affordable, disaster resilient, energy efficient homes. And the vision of this program, AHDP, was to help build mixed income communities throughout the city of Houston. Made affordable homes for homebuyers up to 120% area median income. So as I mentioned, this is a little bit different than traditional down payment assistance that many of you may associate the city with. We work directly with developers to bring down the cost of homes they were already building to make them more affordable to income qualified Houstonians earning up to 120% area median income. And to give you an idea of what that looks like, focus on the column at the right where it says 120% area median income. So what this means, this is showing you in terms of income eligibility for this program, your household can earn up to that column on the right, the 120% area median income, and be income eligible. So if you're a household of 4, so a traditional nuclear family, a married couple and 2 children, you can earn up to $106,300 and be eligible to participate. If it's just you on your own, you can earn up to $74,400. So this is just to give you an idea of what these income limits look like. This is determined annually by HUD. And so these are the 2022 numbers. HUD typically updates these around May of every year. So the 2023 numbers will come out for another probably 7 months. But this will give you a good idea of where the income eligibility for this program is. So when we say affordable, that's what we're talking about here in terms of earning power. But that's enough of me talking for now. I want to turn it over to our partner on this site, Mayberry Homes. They're going to walk you through the new homes that are coming at South Union at MLK Boulevard. And with that, I'm going to pause and I'm going to hand it to, I believe, Ashley to take it from here.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeremiah, for that introduction. And hello and welcome everyone to today's Homebuyer webinar. My name is Ashley Mayberry, Marketing Manager and Sales Consultant for Mayberry Homes. Now, before we get started, I'd love to take a little bit of time and share with you Mayberry Homes' community mission. Mayberry Homes is and has been committed for many, many years to revitalizing the heart of Houston, one home at a time. We pride ourselves on making home ownership a reality for many families, and we do this by bringing you quality homes at an exceptional value. Now let's go ahead and take a look to see what our latest community development will look like, Southern Palms. Now, the Southern Palms community is a beautiful community. It will feature 40 homes that have 2 elevation styles to choose from. One of the greatest things that I love about the Southern Palms community is that it offers a warm, friendly, and family-oriented atmosphere. The Southern Palms community will have a beautiful outdoor playground and park area experience. You're able to bring over and invite family, friends, walk your pets, or even go outdoors and enjoy a breath of fresh air. On the next slide, you'll be able to see an inside look of our outdoor playground facility. Now, let's actually take a look of the inside of what the community has to offer within the Southern Palms home. You'll notice the beautiful concept where it is open. It features lovely lighting with the amazing windows. You'll see the amazing features in the lightings and installations, the dual sink stainless steel with an island as well. Now, I have to give a disclaimer, guys, the furniture is not included, but hopefully you'll be able to lay out your home just as beautiful as they are photographed. Now, we're going to show you an actual video to see what the Southern Palms community will bring. Enjoy. All right. Thank you again for sharing that with our audience, Jeremiah. So hopefully everyone, you are just as excited seeing what the Southern Palms community will look like. Every time I see that video myself, I literally just light up like a Christmas tree. Now let's take a little bit of time and go over the floor plan just so you can see one of the greatest things that I love about this floor plan. This is the Monet floor plan. It is not only a practical floor plan, but very functional. It will feature 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with a powder room included as well. So you'll notice that all of your bedrooms will be located on the second floor. And this floor plan does offer a little over 1,600 square feet in living space. So definitely, again, not only is it practical, very, very functional, has that open concept as you saw on the first picture as well. So and now I'm actually going to go over just a little bit of the home features that this home will include that are standard. So as you can see here, you will be able to participate in these amazing standard features such as having granite countertops, cultured marbled countertops as a part of the selections that our buyers will be able to choose from. And that's something that I really, really like that Mayberry Homes offers, is the ability to customize the home to a certain extent to your liking. So you'll be able to select items like your cabinet colors and the type of carpet shade that you're interested in having in your home. So you will be able to get and pair with myself and our other sales consultant, Monique, who I'm actually about to bring up when we get to that part in the process. So Monique is someone who is very, very knowledgeable. She's been in the industry for quite some time. She's going to take some time on today's webinar and share with you what you can expect in terms of pricing range and how you can also take advantage of this opportunity and express your interest and take it from there. So Monique, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and pass the webinar to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate that. As you can see, and good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, I should say. We're happy that you took the opportunity to sit and join us this Saturday morning and look at what we have coming over to 77021. So we are, as Ashley stated, very excited about this project. We're looking forward to it. We've been gearing up for quite some time and bringing this product to the market. So as you'll see, what we have in front of you is our current price list. So we have 40 homes, address, lot sizes, plan name is Monet, and we're starting with our sales prices. These homes are going to range at minimum from $249,000 up to $297,000. Obviously, that variance and difference in price is a direct result of your lot size. So obviously, the larger your lot, which alludes to more green space, more outdoor area with your family and friends and pets. Obviously, if you're going to have a larger lot, that is going to result in your higher sales price. So we have this price list available for you all. If you're interested, if you want to take a look at it, feel free to reach out to either me or Ashley. Our contact information will be located at the end of this slide. And we're happy to share this with you for any agents and realtors we have on the call as well. I'm happy to, if you want to give me a call and we can discuss this further and talk about this. We are currently pre-selling the lots at this time. We have on our website, we actually have a prospective buyer interest form where you can go directly to the website if you want just simply more information about the project and the development. You can send us a quick email, register on that website, or if you're ready to actually begin the pre-approval process, we're ready to go on that aspect as well. So again, happy to talk to you, get you in front of our lenders and start the pre-approval process for the prospective buyers. And just in general, if you have any questions at all about the home buying process itself, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We want to hand walk you through this process and get you into one of these homes. So here, what we have included here, Jeremiah spoke briefly earlier on about the AMI requirements, area median income and income requirements that are a part of purchasing one of these homes. We've actually included, in addition to the 80 and 120% AMI, 100% chart, for your convenience, so you know what those numbers look like. Both myself and Ashley as sales consultants, our direct contact information is there. Our website, which I don't see here, is mayberryhomes.net. I encourage you to go on over to our website just so you can get a general overview in terms of what we offer at Mayberry Homes as a builder. Taking a look at some of the products and homes that we built. We actually finished a project earlier this year, what we coined as CEDO, southeast of downtown, close to University of Houston. If you'd like to just drive by and take a look at some exterior elevations of what our products look like. Obviously, those are different design plans, but certainly want you to, if you have some questions or interest in wanting to know what we do, please feel free to give me a call, and I can give you some addresses so you can go by and take a look at some of those homes as well. But again, don't hesitate to reach out to Ashley or myself. Please visit our website. There is an interest form there for you all to go in and register and put your direct contact information, realtors or prospective buyers.
Awesome. And Ashley or Monique, would you mind putting in the Mayberry website into the chat?
Yes, Ashley, if you can type that in for us, please, mayberryhomes.net.
Yes, I'll go ahead and do that now.
Thank you.
Before we move on, this is our first Q&A opportunity here. So again, before we get to the program side and talk about the income and program requirements, that sort of stuff, are there any questions that people have about the homes themselves? This is an excellent opportunity to ask questions. We have the subject matter experts from our partner Mayberry here, so I want to give you all a little bit of time to put some questions in now. If you still need some time to think about it, we'll have time at the end. But feel free to use the chat or the raise hand icon. And actually, I do see there's someone who has used the raise hand icon. So Peter, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question for Mayberry Homes team.
Good morning, Mayberry team. You have a very beautiful development. Love to see that. I just had a question about some of the other affordability programs out there. Are you able to stack any of those things with your purchases if they meet the AMI requirements, like down payment assistance and the land trust program?
So from a builder's perspective, we're okay with that. When you say stack the programs, are you referring to the down payment assistance funds that the prospective buyers will be using to purchase the homes?
Yes, there's several programs out there. LIFT, if the city has a down payment assistance program that comes back, and then the Houston Land Trust as well.
Yes, you are able, as far as from a builder's perspective, you are able to the prospective buyers are able to stack those down payment subsidies to go towards the home, the purchase of the home.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think I saw a question in the chat. Mayberry team, this question's for you. And thank you, Ashley. You put in the link into the website, into the chat, mayberryhomes.net. The first question in the chat is, how long will it take to build the homes?
So we are, and I think we have our fearless leader, Mr. Mayberry, on the line with us if he wants to jump in. But we are projected to schedule construction is going to start, if I'm correct, around February, first quarter this year, up in February. We're hopeful that the first set of homes that we're looking to build will be completed somewhere around May, if not before.
All right.
Yeah, no, that. So yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. Sharon Mayberry here, and that would be about accurate, providing that we can get through City Council, which is going to be held on this month actually. We're looking to come out of permitting, Jeremiah, at the latest, the end of this month, and be ready to start turning dirt at the top of the year. Having said that, homes, as Monique has pointed to, should be available going into May, June of this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayberry.
Thank you, Mayberry team. You heard it from the horse's mouth around May timeframe. The next question in the chat, are buyers allowed to use their own lender?
Yes, buyers are definitely most welcome to use their own lenders to finance the home. We do have a prerequisite that we ask that all prospective buyers do speak with one of our preferred lenders and obtain a pre-approval letter. But yes, you are welcome to use any lender you decide to close on the home with.
And then there was a follow-up question from Trish. These both questions are from Trish. Related to that question, does your preferred lender have incentives?
So one of the preferred lenders that we do work with, and I don't know if Amity is on this call, they do offer incentives for prospective buyers who meet the requirements for those. And so once you all reach out to us individually and start the pre-application or pre-approval process with one of our preferred lenders, then they would be able to speak with you directly in terms of what they offer. I know there are some financial incentives with Amity Bank specifically that are offered to the prospective buyers, yes, as long as you meet the requirements.
And I think this question is for developments outside the MLK site. Do you build ranch style homes?
Yes, we will build. We are a builder. So yes, outside of this particular project, if you have a custom design that you want to bring over to our office and let us take a look at, we will certainly review that, make certain that it fits within your lot, and go from there. But we will build whatever you desire as long as it will fit within the land that we're building on.
And just to piggyback on that, that's for homes outside of this development that we're talking about, the MLK site. Another question in the chat, are you using underground or surface storm water detention?
Right. So it's surface ground. In fact, the area that was shown in the slide in the video is the detention area that we'll have that will serve also as a playground. Yeah. So you'll see that area slightly recessed. So that's actually our detention. So we got to look creative with that, and we didn't want to have just a concave area on site. So we want to beautify it and give an area for the kids and adults to hang out.
All right, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat, so we can go ahead and move forward. But I do want to remind all of y'all if some questions pop up in your head, feel free to use that chat. And even if it's not related to the program stuff we're about to talk about, we'll circle back and answer those questions at the end. Hopefully you all are excited and are rearing to go and want to know how to actually start applying for these homes. So that's what we're going to talk about now in the homebuyer eligibility section. And again, I'm just going to keep saying it. Use that chat box as often as you want, as often as you like. We encourage it. I promise you, if you have any questions, there's probably 3 other people that have the same question. The purpose of today is to give all of you the information you need to move forward. So no question is too small or too large. That's it. So under the HDP program, which again is partially financing this development, there's some common steps that will be taken for not just this site, but the other sites under the program. If you're interested, you will need to take a HUD-approved 8-hour homebuyer education course. On this slide, you can see there's a hyperlink here, and that will take you to the HUD webpage where you can search for community partners that offer that course. As long as you've taken it within the last year of when you're applying for this program, you are good to go. It doesn't have to be from a Houston area provider, because I know a lot of them are offering online. It just has to be dated within the last year. Another program requirement, we kind of touched on this, is you must qualify for a pre-approval letter from a fixed rate mortgage for a lender. And so that can be, from the city's perspective, we don't have preferred lenders. So it's, you can shop around. We encourage you to do so in general, find the package that works for you. Each developer may or may not have, under this program, may or may not have preferred lenders. As you heard earlier, Mayberry Homes does. So you can use their preferred lenders or any lender that you find, as long as you're able to qualify for a fixed rate mortgage. And then, as we mentioned, this program, in terms of income eligibility cap, it's 120% area median income. And I'm going to show you that again, just so you have that on the next slide. But that's where we're looking at in terms of that income cap. And then here's that famous slide again. Again, these will be updated in 2023 when HUD releases those numbers. So the home buyer process in general for this program, this slide, what it's showing you is that there's a couple of extra steps in addition to the traditional home buyer process that many of you might be familiar with if you've already started your search for homes. So in some of our developments, there's a market rate units that's not applicable here. All of these, all the 40 homes at the Mayberry site on MLK and OST South Union will be sold at attainable prices under this program. So your first step is going to be to obtain, again, that 30-year fixed rate mortgage pre-approval letter. And then you're going to go on that downward arrow, right, towards program eligibility documents. And we're going to talk about some of that in the next few slides. You'll need to submit that to the city's portal page, which isn't live yet, but will be launching soon. In addition to that, if you are going through this program and if you're purchasing any of these Mayberry homes, this will be applicable to you, those downward arrows. You agree to a 5-year secondary lien on the home. And we'll talk about what that means in a few slides as well. And then you will complete the traditional home buyer process and everything that entails. So just to be clear, at the end, you will own the home. This is a home ownership program. So I just want to make absolute sure that that is communicated. There are some extra steps, some going through the city's application portal, that secondary lien. But at the end of the day, you are a homeowner at the end of this process. So I mentioned there's going to be an application portal that will be launched online. We are working out the last of those, the technology piece of that, but we already do know the required documents. So I want to walk through some of those here with you, so that way you can, if this is a program that appeals to you, you can start preparing to gather those documents for everyone in your household. So you'll need a government issued ID for everyone in the household. You'll also need most recent tax returns, which are 1040s. For everyone that's eligible in the household. If you do not have a 1040, if you did not file one, there'll be other documentation that'll be required for non-tax filers, for example. So if grandma or grandpa are living with you and they're going to move into that home, maybe they're not working and they didn't file a tax return, they're on Social Security, there'll be other forms that they can submit as part of this process. Everyone in the household will need proof of legal status documents. Some examples include birth certificate, passport, your Social Security card, or permanent resident card. I already mentioned the Homebuyer Education Course Certificate. That will be for the main applicant and the co-applicant. So not everyone in the household, just the folks that will essentially be on that mortgage letter. That will need to be dated within the last 120 days. There'll be other applicable documents, but these are kind of the main ones. And definitely, if you are interested in this program, I would highly encourage you to start gathering those documents for everyone in your household. The last thing you want to do is we launch the application portal, and then you need to find your birth certificate. You find out you're missing one for someone in your household, and then you have to wait 6 weeks for the state to send that to you. So like I said, just start gathering everything up as much as you can, find the holes that may be missing, and start gathering those documents. So these next two slides, I know we're throwing terms around like area median income, 120%. These are things that on the city side we're very familiar with. We recognize the general home buyer might not be. So we wanted to walk through a few examples of what this kind of looks like in practice in terms of eligibility and some other program requirements. So as we go through these next slides, just please keep in mind these are examples. As when the application portal launches, if there's any questions, you can reach out to the city. Submit if you apply, we'll let you know what's missing or what we need from you. So again, these are just examples. Don't take these as concrete. If you're making more, you're making less, anything like that. Just examples. So in this example, we have a household of 5. It's a family of 4, the traditional nuclear family, and 1 grandparent. You have 1 parent in the household that's an inspector making $45,000 and some change and a couple $100. The other parent is a social worker. They're making $48,000 essentially. And you have a stay-at-home grandparent that is making $14,000 in annual disability. This is important because the way we are figuring area median income for eligibility purposes, we are only looking at taxable income. So the reason why we use this example is to show you in this case that grandparents' $14,000 does not apply to that 120% area median income cap. So the way we at the city would look at that is we would add the gross income of the two parents, the 45,000 and the 48,000, and they would be making a total of 93,700. For a 5-person household, the area median income today is $114,000. So this household would be eligible in terms of income eligibility for this program to move forward. So again, this is just an illustrative example. If you have any questions, any doubts, my advice to you is make us say no. Feel free to apply for the program. We will let you know what's missing, and if you do or don't meet this income eligibility requirement. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what the secondary lien means and how it's tied to what we are calling the affordability gap. And this is the key portion of this program. It's kind of the heart and soul of how this program is designed to work. So the affordability gap is, in layman's terms, the gap between what a home buyer is able to secure through their fixed rate mortgage and the sales price of the home, and that difference. So again, this is going to be an illustrative example just to give you an idea what the affordability gap is. This is going to be different for each household, and it's going to determine a lot of different things in terms of the amount of assistance. But in this example, let's say that family is able to secure a fixed rate mortgage at $250,000. You already heard the sales prices for these homes, but again, this is just an example. In this example, the market rate price for the homes is $300,000. So what this family is looking at is an affordability gap of $50,000. Again, that's that market rate sales price minus the fixed rate mortgage that home buyer was able to secure. Under this program, developers that agree to participate will work with that individual family's affordability gap. So in this case, that affordability gap is at $50,000. Each developer is working slightly differently, but they will work with income qualified folks that go through our program to sell that home at that $250,000 price, that affordability gap. Excuse me, let me go back one more time. So again, this is going to be a variable assistance program. One family, again, if for example, they were able to secure a $275,000 fixed rate mortgage, their affordability gap would be $25,000. And our developer would work with them at that range, at that price point. Some other developments in this program, the market rate price might be a little bit higher, or might be lower. So, this is going to be very variable to your program. It's designed to work for each home buyer and where they're at that point in time that they apply for our programming. So that affordability gap is directly tied to the secondary lien. As if you remember earlier, I mentioned there's a 5-year secondary lien for participating in this program. 20% of that secondary lien will be forgiven every year. So in the previous example that we mentioned, that affordability gap was $50,000, which means at 20%, every year $10,000 is forgiven from that secondary lien. If that home buyer lives in the home for 5 years, the secondary lien is completely forgiven. And just to be clear, you as the potential home buyer will not be making payments on that secondary lien unless you have to sell or move out of the home before the end of the 5 years. So even this $50,000, again, is going to be different for each home buyer. Remember, I mentioned someone might have a $25,000 affordability gap. That would be what their secondary lien is attached to, and 20% of that would be forgiven every year. So this is a little bit hard to explain than a traditional down payment assistance program where it's a check for say $30,000 and that's what everyone gets. But we recognize that everyone needs a different level of assistance, and so it's reflected in how this program works. Another important thing to mention is our debt to income ratio that we will at the city calculate. Debt to income ratio for those of you folks that are just starting the home buyer journey, that is your monthly payments divided by your gross monthly income. And gross monthly income is what you take home before taxes are taken out. So this is key, right? So in this point in the process, you have applied for the program. We verify that you earn up to 120% area median income. We have your fixed rate mortgage letter. And so what we'll do is we'll calculate your debt income ratio, which will include your monthly mortgage payment. That includes the principal, interest, and taxes and insurance you're expected to pay. And we'll take a look at your monthly debt. So that's things like your car payments, your credit cards, student loans, if you have any medical debt, those sort of things. Again, your gross income is your income before taxes. and your debt to income ratio, or DTI, cannot exceed 45% to participate in this program. So even if you're earning up to 120%, when you get your mortgage and all your other monthly payments, that cannot exceed 45%. And we're going to walk through some examples of what that looks like. In this first example, and again, these are just examples, don't take this as gospel for what would be for this development at MLK South Unit, OST South Unit MLK. In this example, this couple's monthly mortgage payment is $2,000. They have monthly debt of $1,500. So their total monthly debt with their mortgage, their interest rates, and the things they were paying before that, car payments, etc., is $3,500. Their gross monthly income is $7,808. And so when you divide that out, their monthly debt, $3,500 divided by $7,808, they're at 44% debt to income ratio. So they are good to go to continue moving forward in this program. Again, that 45% is eligible here. In this example, the monthly mortgage payment is $2,000. This couple has $1,800 in monthly debt. Again, credit cards, car payments, etc. So their total monthly debt would be $3,800. Their gross monthly income is $7,808. So when you do the math, that puts them at 49% debt to income ratio. So they are not eligible to continue buying the home in this program. So we're showing this to you to give you an idea of how that debt to income ratio works. And even if you aren't at the point right now, like literally today, where you think maybe your DTI might be too high, we want to walk you through what this looks like, so that way you can begin working on perhaps paying down those monthly debt that you have, or shop around for a different mortgage package. It might have a different lower interest rate. We want to give you the information you need to become program eligible if you aren't quite where you need to be at this point in time. So I want to show you some key resources. I promise we're winding down. We only got a couple more slides, and then we'll get back to the Q&A if there's any. The first link here, New Homes for Houston. And I'm going to show you this website in just a second. This has a link to all of our developments, including the one we're partnering with Mayberry Homes with the OST South Unit MLK. I just put the link to that in the chat. So again, you can take a look at some other sites that we have, or get some more information about the homes we've been talking about today. We also have our own home buyer interest survey. This one's a little separate from the Mayberry Homes. This has a link, has choices for all of our developments. If you sign up for that, we'll let you know when all those developments are, each individual development is ready for sale. We'll send you links to free webinars that will help you on the home buyer journey. And we'll also let you know when the application portal is launched and when the homes that you've selected are ready for pre-sale. And finally, on this slide, if you want to contact the city with questions after this webinar, because if you're like me, my best questions come up after the meeting ends, you can do that by emailing us at newhomebuyer@houstontx.gov. And I just put that email link into the chat. A couple more slides, and then I'll show you the website, and we'll open up to Q&A. Some of my colleagues at HCD have put together a great free webinar called a series called the 360 Road to Home Ownership, with topics like building credit, finding a team to help you on the home buyer process, like finding realtors and everyone else that will help you on this complicated journey that is home ownership. And of course, some other important topics that maybe sometimes you forget about, like maintaining your home. If you're moving out of an apartment, it's important, especially for all of you that mentioned that you're trying to build generational wealth and hand this home on to your kids, that the home is maintained. So there's webinars on things to expect on maintenance, things that I personally don't do because I live in an apartment. I call my maintenance folks when anything's broken. If I own a home, I won't be able to do that anymore. So these are things to consider as you're moving through your home buyer journey. And the next webinar is actually on the 6th, including maintenance. So there's a link for that here as well. And that's the last of the slides. I'm just going to show you the website real quick, and then we'll do the last Q&A section. Give me just 1 second as I transition over to the website, everyone. This is that New Homes for Houston website I mentioned. As we scroll through it, here's the interest survey. It's really quick. you'll just put in your contact information. We have a couple of questions. This is going to help. The homebuyer preparedness section is to help us know what kind of webinars and programming might be useful for all of y'all. And then here's where you can select homes that you are interested in learning more information about. So if you want all the updates about the homes coming built by Mayberry at OST South Unit MLK, you can go in and click on that. You can click us on as many as you like, and then you hit the submit button, and then we will email you all the relevant information as it becomes available. And then here's, like I said, we have other developments, but here's where you can find that video, for example. Here's our development we're talking about today. You can click on the website to learn more. And we're going to update this with more information as it becomes relevant. So some of this is looking pretty familiar. You can watch that video again here if you'd like. But in general, that's pretty much the end of information we wanted to share with you today. So I'm going to take a pause. I'm sure you're all tired of hearing me talk, and turn it back to all of you and answer the remaining questions that we have. This time is for all of you. So please, again, I can't emphasize enough. This is a great opportunity to ask Mayberry Homes your questions directly, to ask the city your questions directly. So I'm going to pause and take a look in the chat. Use the raise hand icon if you'd like. And let's see what's in the chat right now. I only see one question in the chat. I see, is there a max affordability gap subsidy? And I think that question's for the city. So, and technically there isn't, but the it becomes, going back to that debt to income ratio thing, slides, it becomes increasingly harder to meet that 45% debt to income ratio if there's a large max affordability gap. So it's going to be, again, very dependent on each home buyer. There's probably a scenario or two where you can have a huge max affordability gap, but there's a way that that home buyer might still be eligible under the 45% DTI. It's just going to depend on that home buyer. I don't know if there's anyone else at the city that would like to add to that. I would just say that there isn't one. It's just the larger it gets, the harder it is to hit that 45% DTI. There is there is a question. I think this is for Mayberry. Will there be an HOA? And if so, what will be the HOA fees?
Sorry, no, there is not an HOA. No HOA for this development.
Well, so let me speak to that. I'm sorry, Monique. So actually there will be for the common area. So there will be an HOA in place. And thanks for whoever asked that question. Currently the fees have not been assessed, but as soon as we get that from the Portland HOA company, we'll make sure that's rolled out. It's a good question. Thank you.
All right, the next question, I think this is for both. Are there any resources that you'd be able to give to someone who is starting the homeowner journey? And I can go first. I did mention the 360 home to remote ownership. I think there's 10 webinars at this point. When we send the slides out, you'll have the link to all that. But while I hand it over to Mayberry team to further answer that question, I'll put that link in the chat as well. So the question was, Mayberry team, is there any resources you would recommend to folks that are just starting the home buyer journey?
So I'll speak to that. One of the things as a realtor, what I would recommend if you're starting the home buyer journey is, one, reach out to a real estate professional and talk to someone to see what that process entails. And secondly, first and foremost, you want to see what your buying power is and what you're eligible for in terms of income and purchasing a house. In addition to the fact, as you stated earlier, Jeremiah, we still have a lot of time, here before construction starts. So, in addition to finding out how much you qualify for, you also want to know where your credit is. And so speaking with the lender will give you an overall view in terms of what you need to do to start that process. I always tell my prospective buyers after I walk them through the home buying process, let them know what that looks like from an inspection, getting inspections, getting appraisals, going through that process, but even more so talking with a lender and letting them explain from a financial perspective what that looks like. You want to know where your credit is, what's on your credit, what can be done to assist you in the interim while you're waiting to see if you qualify to bring those credit scores up. We know that lower credit scores result in higher interest rates. So talk with the real estate professional, talk with the lender, and start there first.
The other thing I'll mention, Monique, on top of that, and that was all great information. When you are looking at the link to the homebuyer education offers we put in earlier for the HUD certified course, many of those organizations also offer homebuyer counseling. I can't recommend, from the city's perspective, I can't recommend one, but a lot of them are well-known nonprofit organizations throughout the city. Shop around those nonprofits and other folks that offer those kind of services and find whoever you think works best for you. That could be someone who might offer in classes in Spanish or in Chinese, if you're an ESL speaker, someone who's closer to you in terms of location, or someone who offers those classes online. But that's another good place to start, is looking at who's offering those HUD certified courses and seeing what other services they offer.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Right, I agree.
Another question in the chat: is there an additional affordability period for Midtown Redevelopment Authority?
Yes, there is an additional affordability period for Midtown Redevelopment Authority, another partner with us in this development. Please reach out to me directly or one of our team members, and we can speak to you more in detail in terms of those requirements that Midtown is going to require as well.
Right,
Awesome.
and we're currently, if I can just add to that, Monique, we're currently working with Midtown to align their affordability period. So that's a good question, Monique, and if you can use that to take back to CCPPI as well as Midtown, that question did come up, and the thoughts is that it will be aligned with shooting for that to be aligned with what the city is as for the affordability period, which is 5 years. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayberry team. And as a reminder, when we send the slide deck out, Monique's and Ashley's contact information will be there. So, and I think they put that on the chat earlier as well. So if you can't see the chat for some reason, you'll get the slide deck and again in 2 to 3 business days. I'm not sure, you may have to put more context to this question, but there was a question asked, do you pay realtors? So I'm not entirely sure the context of that question.
If you're asking if realtors bring buyers, yes, we do pay. Mayberry Homes does pay realtor commissions. We pay realtors. We pay your commission or referral fee.
And so there was a follow-up question that I hadn't seen from the same person asking how much, but I guess that's the answer to that. It's a referral fee. That's going to be different from realtor to realtor.
It's a realtor's commission. And so when you present your client, bring your client over to the office, we will provide you with the realtor's addendum. I'm not certain if we've confirmed what that payout will be for this particular project, but yes, there will be a realtor's commission paid out, as we always have. Awesome.
And I'm sorry, I'm just squinting, trying to read the chat. Are there any, I'm not seeing any other questions. So we still have a couple of minutes. And again, I highly encourage you all to use this time to answer any questions. Feel free to use the raise hand icon to unmute yourself if you prefer to ask verbally, or use the chat. Otherwise, as I mentioned, that's the end of our presentation. So this is your time to ask any questions you have for the city or for Mayberry. All right, I'm not seeing anyone typing anything. I'm not seeing any raise hand icons, so I think we can go ahead. Oh, okay. Oh, someone's saying this has been helpful. Oh, thank you, Trish. It's good to know this has been helpful. Mayberry team, is there any last thoughts or comments you want to share before we go in and end?
No, I just want to offer that we are here. If you have any questions at all, if there was something that we didn't cover during the presentation, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me or Ashley directly, or as well as the office on next week if you can think of anything. I encourage you to go onto our website and fill out the registration form and the inquiry, and let us get back in contact with you and speak with you one-on-one. We're excited about this development. We are pre-selling, so again, please give us a call.
All right, and that's a great way to end it. I'm taking a look and the sun's out, so everyone, please go enjoy the weather and have a great lunch and a great rest of your weekend. And thank you for joining us today.